Hello everyone, I'm somewhere in Dumberi Township, some 3 kilometers north of Kiambu Town, and if I continue this way, I'll be going to Limuru Town, but I'll be turning right toward Githunguri Town. There is a small village town called Ting'ang'a, which will be getting there in less than a minute. And remember, this is not your ordinary village. First of all, this is the most requested video that I have ever done. I have received a lot of requests from you people asking me to visit this town, and today I say to myself, why not? But something about this place caught my attention as I was doing my background check, and that is gender inequalities. The number of women is almost 54% of the total population, while men make up about 46%, which I found to be a bit extreme. And although it is common to have many women, the gender gap in Ting'ang'a is something else. So where is the boy child? But before we answer that, let me quickly show you where we are on the map. And you can see Ting'ang'a right there, which is north of Dumberi and south of Ikinu. And remember, Ikinu is the entry point to Githunguri constituency. It is an interesting township. We will cover it later. But for today, welcome to Ting'ang'a village. The shopping center is only a few meters ahead. But before we get there is a group of schools on my right. I want to sample them and see what's up. You know, schools tells a lot about a community, since most public schools were built by communities in the 70s and 80s through Harambes. And from where I sit, I'm liking it. The buildings are superb, and the playing field is quite big, which is news in Kiambu, where land scarcity is an issue. And these are two schools. On my right is Ting'ang'a Primary School, and on the left there is a secondary school. It seems like they share one entrance, but they are not separated from the inside. It is during the lunch break, and so it was kinda easy for me to get here, as I'm not disrupting anyone. But let me turn around and head straight to the shopping center, and I hope you can see a bunch of boys enjoying their lunch. Well, I'm not sure whether the term enjoyment should be used in the same sentence with school meals, especially in public schools here in Kenya. Well, maybe things changed for better, I don't know. But most old-timers would agree with me that we used to have really bad meals. But so far so good. The environment seems to be conducive for learning, and the playing fields are well taken care of. They are well leveled and they have grass. And I know some of you might be taking that lightly. But if you go to the lower part of Kiambu County, in areas such as Gashie and Denderu, it is not unlikely to see a playing field with zero grass, which is as a result of overpopulation. Remember, the lower you go towards Nairobi, the higher the population, and the higher you go toward Mount Kenya, the lower the population. But before we hit Ting'ang'a town, which is only a few seconds ahead, let me take this opportunity to welcome you to our YouTube channel, Village to Town, a channel that is dedicated to continue showcasing beautiful villages, towns, and cities across the continent of Africa. Remember, we are still continuing with our continuous series, where we aim to hit all the 290 constituencies across the country. And this is probably our last village town in Kiambu constituency. We'll be hitting the next one in our next video. So if you have not yet subscribed, kindly consider doing so. It's free of charge, so that we can go together to all the villages and small shopping centers across the country, including where you come from, and see the beauty of this great continent and its people. Now back to the video, and we are in the outskirts of Ting'ang'a shopping center. And apart from the small town area which we are visiting today, remember, Ting'ang'a is a ward administratively, which is in Kiambu constituency and in Kiambu County. I want to turn left so that I can get to the town center and see how everything is faring here, especially businesses. And I can see on my left is the designated market area. It is officially closed, and vendors are doing their businesses along the street. Let me get a nice angle so that I can show you, since I'm currently facing the sun. But I'm told the government is building a modern market here, which is definitely expected to change lives here. And remember, this is the old shopping center. There is a new one that is upcoming, which is along Kiambu Road. I'll be visiting there later. And so far so good. The center is quite busy. Business is thriving. And the internal roads are not bad off. Remember, this is the rainy season. And so you can expect to see pools of stagnant water here and there. The roads are not tarmacked, but they are well maintained, which is a nice thing. The buildings are very old. It seems like they have seen better days. But the fact that the business is thriving means they are put to better use. And on the right is the proposed modern market, which is in the foundation stage. It is a great initiative by the national government, which was started during the last regime. In fact, they managed to complete a few markets. I have seen a few, one in Gachie and another one in Kikuyu, and all are 3-story buildings. And one thing I have noted about this small town is that it is very busy. There are people all over. Remember, you have visited ghost towns before, but Ting'ang'a is exempted. And another thing I have noted is that color green and red are very prominent here. Most buildings are painted in those two. There also seems to be a low-key competition between the two leading telcos companies in Kenya, that is Safaricom and Airtel. It's like they are competing to paint buildings in this small town. And here on my left, I can see one Savannah bar. It's closed. Maybe the owner is waiting for the right time, which is officially 5 p.m. here in Kenya. And I want to get deeper into the town by turning left. It is good to see whether or not the town is thriving from all fronts. This is one of the main back streets, and it seems like most businesses are closed. There is also a bunch of new boys all over. I wonder what type of businesses are attracting this kind of idleness. Oops, no need to say more. I have just noted 2 alcohol joints on my left, including this one dubbed 07 Pub. Probably it was initiated in 2007. And I hope you saw another one dubbed 08 Club as I was turning around. It seems like this is the town's drinking zone, and I hope I'll not see another club. I think I have seen enough for today. Whoa, I can see another one across the road. I hope you can see it. Club Amina's it is, and it seems to be somehow fancy, especially when compared to others that you have just seen. The lounge is located in a story building, so it seems like patrons drink as they enjoy the view of the town. Of course, it sounds fancy for the old boys, but it is nothing to smile about if new kids are involved. In fact, it might be a disaster in making. And as I make my way out of the old shopping center, it seems like this zone is designated for furniture shops. And the fact that I have not spotted any club in the front row is commendable. Although I don't know whether it's a mere coincidence, but the town seems to be planned. You can also see the local gas station across the road. It's quite small, but I can see at least 3 pumps, meaning you can get all the 3 major types of fuel here, which include petrol, diesel, and kerosene. That's nice, considering that this is a small community, and I can see a lot of other investments along the road, especially in terms of real estate. There is a lot of new story buildings, which are designed for residential purposes. You can see them on both sides of the road, and that takes us to a real estate segment. Well, most people here are homeowners, as this is a traditional village which has been existing since times immemorial. And so if you need a 50 by 100 piece of plot in this area, which is ideal for building a home, you will need between 1.8 to 2.5 million Kenya shillings, depending on its location and of course your negotiation skills. And remember, a majority of people here are Kikuyus, meaning that negotiation skills are necessary. You really have to up your game if you are to get anything here, since there is a common belief across the country that Kikuyus have a good business acumen. The number of people choosing to rent apartments is also increasing in the area, as you have seen a high number of rental apartments. And this mainly results from the fact that land is becoming quite scarce in this area. And most local people, especially young couples, are choosing to move out of their parent compounds, which are a bit squeezed, and they are choosing to rent around. I want to turn around so that we can have a better view and you can see typical Kikuyu homes. Even these types of fences are quite common around here. They bring that sweet memory of home. And a quick check of rent prices over the internet. we found that for the newly built apartments, you will need about 15,000 Kenya shillings to get a 2-bedroom apartment. That's about 120 US dollars per month. And most 1-bedroom apartments are ranging around 10,000 Kenya shillings, while you can get a good studio apartment for about 5,000 Kenya shillings. But if you are a hustler or you are just starting life, you can get a nice 1-roomed iron sheet house for as low as 2,500 Kenya shillings. You can also see the area has both a town and village ambience, which is ideal for those bringing up children. It is also nice for those who want to retire peacefully in a place that is not far away from the city, but it has a village outlook. You know, a serene environment is ideal for retirees. Remember, it's only 8 kilometers to Kiambu Town and 24.2 kilometers to Nairobi CBD, and it is also 14 kilometers to Githunguri Town, which is the capital of dairy farming. And apart from businesses, most people here practices small-scale farming, including dairy farming, which is doing quite well in the region. Now let's quickly check out the numbers and compare Ting'ang'a with other neighboring villages. And as of 2019, the small urban center had a total population of 6,059 people. Well, this was a small increase from the 2009 general census, where the population was 5,492 people. This meant that for a period of 10 years, the population increased by less than 500 people. This is a bit concerning, considering that the urban center is in one of the most populated counties in the country. The annual population change from 2009 to 2019 was less than 1%, as it was estimated at 0.99%. But another issue that really caught my attention about the small urban center is the issue of gender distribution. The Kenya National Bureau of Statistics found that 53.6% were women, while 46.4% were men. There is almost a gap of 7% in favor of women, which is a bit crazy, as it is way higher than the country's average. In fact, there is only a 0.8% gender gap in the country, as women make up 50.4% of the total population, while men are only 49.6%. So where is the boy child in this small town? Well, I found that to be quite concerning, and I wonder whether it is the question of migration to other areas, or whether or not alcohol is a factor. But remember, we can only speculate, but this is an area that needs more research. But in the meantime, the locals can tell us what's up. But remember, the fertility rate is also very low. Women are choosing to have less kids. There's a lot that can contribute to that, including lack of opportunities and financial prowess. Remember, raising kids is not a small feat. You need to at least be financially stable, which is quite an uphill task in the current economic matrix. And I hope you can see the site of the newly proposed market on the right. But let's go back to our statistics, and I want to compare the numbers I just gave you with that of the larger area. And as I told you, the small urban center is within a larger administrative ward that goes by the same name, Ting'ang'a. Actually, it is one of the 60 wards in Kiambu County. And the ward has a total population of 26,717 people. 13,158 are men, while 13,554 are women. You can see the gender gap, it's quite small, and although women are the majority, the difference is not more than 400. This means that the issue is only unique to the small town. Away from the issue of gender distribution and onto the question of population density, the area had a population density of 550 people per square kilometer, which is quite low, especially when compared to other surrounding villages that we have already visited. For instance, in our last video, we visited Kirigiti, which had a population density of 6,044 people per square kilometer. And comparing that to Ting'ang'a's 550, you can see the gap is quite huge. But that tells you that the larger Ting'ang'a is a rural area. Don't get it twisted from the small urban center we just drove around. It is just a shopping center in a village. You can see that this is the case in this residential area that we are driving around. You can see that it is the typical village, although urbanization is trying to catch up. I also found some interesting demographic facts about Kiambu, the larger Kiambu County. And although they were a bit old, I felt that it would be nice to share with you. And they highlight the household lighting fuel source in Kiambu County as of 2009. And I found that a total of 54% of residents in Kiambu County used electricity as their main source of lighting, and a further 26% used lanterns, and 18% used tin lamps. Ruiru constituency had the highest level of electricity use at 75%, and that was 4 times Gatundu North constituency, which had the lowest level of electricity connection. In terms of wards, Kawawa and Ndani had the highest at 93%, while Kinali ward had the lowest at 9%. Well, you can see the inequality of electricity distribution between the urban areas and rural areas in Kiambu County. Though I hope things has already changed in the last 10 years, but I'll be visiting these rural areas quite soon and documenting everything. And trust me, it will be real fun. So please continue watching the scenic video. And if you have watched this far, kindly consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, Village to Town, a channel that is dedicated to continue showcasing beautiful villages, towns, and cities across the continent of Africa. Kindly consider liking the video so that it can be recommended to as many people as possible. Smash the notification bell so that every time we post, you will be among the first few people to be notified. I also want to welcome all the new subscribers. We appreciate you, and also those who are writing to me, both in the comment section and directly. I read and reply to everyone, and I appreciate the love. Thank you.